Hey, and welcome back to the next episode of the Right Hand Drive Guys podcast. We're your hosts, Bobby and Aaron,
Yo.
and this is episode 104. And today we have a guest. And I mean, I'm definitely interested to see what this guest has to say.
Yeah.
It is Jamar from All Things JDM.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what that is, you should get on Facebook, type in All Things JDM.
You've probably heard about it.
You've
If you're in the
probably-
scene, you've probably heard about it or seen people post about it. You probably know this guy.
Yeah, or at least have heard of what he's doing. And so yeah, we've been trying to get with him. He's obviously in Japan, so the time difference is a little tough. But finally, we get to have him on.
Yeah.
And so just to break it down real quick, he pretty much helps you, export from Japan, whatever it is you may want to get.
Anything and everything.
Anything
all
and
things
everything.
JDM.
All things, yeah, with
Exporting
a Z.
all things JDM. That's his game.
And so, yeah, we're just going to chat with him about how he got there, how you can work with him, and maybe what's in store for his future.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, episode 104, Jamar from All Things JDM. All right, and we're back with Jamar. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me.
Hey, absolutely. We appreciate you coming on. How are things over there in JDM land, man?
Starting to get a little cold. This month, but all in all, everything's good. Business is good. People still buying cars, still buying parts, so everything's kind of cool still.
Hell yeah, that's dope. That's good for all of us. If people are still buying, that means the culture's still expanding, and that's definitely what we all need. So,
That's right.
what do you do, man? I mean, I know we know, of course, right? But what is All Things JDM?
So All Things JDM is basically a logistics company that helps you guys that are outside of Japan, anywhere in the world, get anything that you want from Japan. It could be furniture, car parts, snacks, drinks, clothes, really anything that's Japanese that is sold in Japan, I can help you get it in any country that you're in.
Wow, that's pretty expansive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, realistically, I thought it was like just the U.S. I didn't realize, our Australian buddies or our UK buddies can also work with you.
Oh, yeah.
And so, how'd you get into this? How does a guy from, where are you actually from in the U.S.?
I'm from New York City.
Oh, shoot.
no shit.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
East Coast, what's up? So how does a guy from the city get into, exporting from Japan? That seems like a crazy ride.
Right. So, just like most people, man, I was so moved by the first original Fast and the Furious movie. I think it came out when I was in like the 10th grade or something like that. And I always said to myself, if I ever got to Japan, I'm going to do some serious damage. So it took me graduating high school, joining the military, and then finally, 16 years later, getting orders to Japan. And then once I got to Japan, I scrambled and I'm like, okay, I'm here. How do I start? Not realizing that a lot of people in Japan don't speak English. So I knew I needed to get the things that we all wanted from Japan into America. I just didn't know how to start. So eventually with networking and, talking to the right people and investing a lot of money and losing a lot of money, I finally figured out my path, and here we are. It took me a year and a half to really get the ball rolling. Started really small, but with some perseverance, I made it through.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like you've built up quite the network, as you said, between, your guys in the U.S., you got guys in Japan, now you're kind of communicating with the Japanese on like a better level, and it's really only been like a year and a half of that.
So I've been doing what you guys see, I want to say May 2021.
Oh, wow.
is when I really started. I really started my own lane. Initially, I just started in other Facebook groups and trying to promote myself that way. But eventually, I got kicked out of a lot of Facebook groups because my prices were so low and I was so responsive and I was stealing a lot of customers from a lot of different people. And I kept getting like, a lot of pushback and a lot of people pushing me out of their Facebook groups. So I started my own Facebook group. I started my own platforms on social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and trying to push myself out there. So I want to say I started that May 2021, and that's when I started my own lane in May 2021. So just 2 years. Um, I mean, I don't feel like my following is that big. I don't feel like I have that many people like reaching out to me all the time, but apparently I'm making some type of waves because here we are. I don't even understand. Here we are.
Nah, man, I think you are. I think you and what you've created is bigger than you probably realize. But that's good, right? It's cool to kind of be shielded from it so you're not engulfed in it, so to speak, and you can kind of still do what got you to that point. So I know you had a question.
Yeah, man. So, what's the worst thing about being a foreigner, in Japan? Like, the language barrier is always going to be there, I feel like. But what's the absolute worst thing, that you can think of that, foreigners get in Japan?
So I don't want to offend anybody, right? And I don't want to speak for all foreigners, and I don't want to speak for all Japanese. But in my experience, there has been many times as me being a Black American in Japan trying to do what I'm doing, there have been a lot of roadblocks. There have been situations where I would walk up to dealerships or places of business and I would try to buy things. And I'm using Google Translate. I know a little bit of Japanese, enough to kind of get me by. I would always have cash in my pocket or a credit card with no limit, and I could never get through. The moment I call my Japanese person, I say, hey, bro, call this number, buy this thing, or go to this address, purchase this car, and bring it to me. They get through with no problems at all. So I'm not sure what the Japanese people that I'm dealing with are seeing when I walk into a dealership or what they're thinking when I'm trying to purchase this one thing and they're not allowing me to, but my Japanese person who is Japanese and speaks Japanese can get through to them. I just don't understand why they think that my money is not good enough, or why they think that this car needs to stay in Japan, or why they think that I'm not allowed to have this car, or I shouldn't have this car, or whatever the case. I can't figure out what they're thinking, but a lot of the things that happen in this country, the Japanese people want to keep to themselves. They don't want to see us foreigners grow in their country. I've tried to rent several apartments to make Airbnbs. I've tried to rent several shops to make myself grow. I would even tell the realtor to tell the landowner or the shop owner, I'll pay the entire life of the lease on day one. If it's a 2-year lease, I'll give you the 60,000, the 70,000, whatever it is on day one. This way you never have to look or talk to me for 2 years. Take that money, reinvest it somewhere else, reinvest it into another property, whatever you want. Just don't come to this property at all because you have no business here. Right. I paid you on day one the entire life of the lease. I got turned down 6 times.
Damn.
6 times. Six different people that I've tried to rent from told me no 6 times with that same proposition. And I just can't figure that out. Clearly, this country is not about, they're not about the money.
Right.
It's not, they're all about the honor and all of that extra stuff that I don't understand because I'm a numbers guy. Yeah. So
yeah,
I would have
sense.
to say that the hardest part of being in this country is trying to advance as a non-Japanese person, trying to get these Japanese people to do business with me.
Yeah, I feel that. And like you said, maybe here, I mean, here that tactic would work, right? Like, I own properties. If you come to me with 70 G's and I don't got to deal with you for 2 years, dude, holy moly, let's drop it down to
Right.
65 and get this done. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, so I could see
That's a
that.
godsend. It's crazy.
And I could agree, from my travels to Japan, it does feel like they're trying to protect what they have, right? Like they're kind of possessive over it, and we're coming in and trying to maybe, experience that as well. But they got the roadblocks up. So I could see that for you, man, which is tough because, right, you got the business to do it, but nobody will give you the opportunity for the space to operate in. That would for sure be tough. So, all right. So, right, you're throwing, from what we've seen, right? You got containers going East Coast, West Coast, down south, up
South
north,
Coast, North Coast, all of them. Dude, you got containers going
everywhere, dude. So, I'm sure you've run across some crazy things, right? Because, like you said, it's all things JDM. So, what's the weirdest thing that you're like, really? Something somebody's asked you to export?
Okay, so I get a lot of strange messages every single day, right? And it gets to the point where I'll read a message and I would feel like someone's trying to be funny, and sometimes I wouldn't even respond, and I'll just block them immediately. A lot of people know me for being that type of way. Like I'm very quick because I don't like to argue. I don't like to talk too much. I'm very busy. I don't like to deal with people. So I much rather just block you out of my life, and that way I don't have to deal with you.
Yeah.
So one day I woke up. I was getting some things together. I was going to go to the container yard to make a drop off, and I get a message asking someone to go to 7-Eleven and purchase underwear from me to them. And I said, I don't understand. You want me to go to 7-Eleven, drive to 7-Eleven, and buy you underwear and ship it to you? He says, yes, in an XL, please, black. I blocked him immediately. I immediately blocked him. Immediately. I didn't even respond. Usually I respond, I take a screenshot and I post it for everyone to laugh at because I realize how social media works. The algorithm, people like to laugh at negativity. People like to laugh at other people, things like that. So I didn't even do that. So as I'm now getting in my truck, I completely erased it from my mind. I wiped my eyes, I woke up, brushed my teeth, and I'm like, whatever. I start driving my truck and I get a phone call from my right-hand man, my business partner, Franklin Perez, VTech Turtle in New Jersey. He says, hey, bro, you blocked my friend, but he's really, really wanting you to buy underwear. And I'm like, you have to be kidding me. He's like, no, bro, that's a real thing. That's a real thing.
What?
I said, so let me understand this. You want me to go to 7-Eleven and purchase underwear for this man? He says, yes. I said, okay, I'm on my way. After that, I unblocked him, purchased his underwear, and then we made it a joke. We call it Japanties, Japanese panties. And it's funny because now I make these snack packs where you can get like a drink, a shirt, and some Japanese snacks, and I put them all together. And a lot of people have been requesting the All Things JDM Japanties. Wow. So I would go to 7-Eleven and I would put these underwears in a lot of people's random boxes because they want to see what the hype is all about.
Yeah.
Now, hindsight 2020, now this guy that ordered the panties originally, now he kind of works for me. He owns a UPS store. And now whenever we send containers to America, he's the focal point for the airmail shipping for the people that can't come to pick it up.
Oh, damn.
So now I employ him, and now he sends all of the things to like Michigan or the inland states that can't come to New Jersey to pick up their parts. Crazy.
That is crazy. Starts with some underwear, ends up with a business,
Crazy.
Yeah. Wow. I wouldn't have expected that. And, I would say you mentioned, because if anybody doesn't know, you go by, do you pronounce it Fussa fam?
Okay, so it's Fusa Fam
Fusa.
on Facebook. Only created that because I had just got here in Japan. I didn't want to use my real name. I didn't want to. I have been off of social media for like 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and that Facebook account was just something just to play around with. I had no idea it would be. If I knew it would be like this, I would have created something a little bit more cooler. But
Mm-hmm.
Fusa is the city in Japan that I'm in, and then my daughter and I, we were running the Facebook um, account together because my daughter was the face of the company
I see.
until she went to college.
Yeah, and major props on that, man. I'm a girl dad, and I was watching you and your daughter kind of put in work and seeing her drive around that Evo, and I'm just like, dude, like major goals there. You know what I mean? Just in the sense of really being a part of your daughter's life while still conducting business. She clearly learned a ton. I know she's in college, probably capitalizing off a lot of those lessons that she was able to experience with you. And is she still a part of it in her own way?
So she can't be because she's so geographically separated from me.
Mm.
The only thing that she's really a part of is just like making small little content. So I send all of my cars back home, and I'll have her, whenever she's in town, I'll have her go there, drive them to the gas stations,
Oh, nice.
or make content with them real quick, just she can send them to me. But I really want her to just focus on school, focus on her life. While she was here, she was helping me with my dream, my life. Now I want her to branch off and do whatever she wants to do for the rest of her life.
Yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
some good dad shit right there, man. Hell yeah. Not
Thanks.
being selfish is one of the hardest things in this world. So a major props to you on that.
Thanks.
So, all right. So this is a good question. And this is a question I'm really hoping that we can help some of these poor guys that just cannot figure out, how this works, right? And I know the simple way is to say, all things JDM / FAQ, right? That's the simple way. But can we get into a little bit of how this process works as far as, if me, a guy that has never worked with you, wants to either get something pretty much get something in a container, how can I make that happen for myself without inconveniencing you with a bunch of questions? You know what I'm saying?
Sure. So that answer is really easy. All you need to do is send me the link to whatever it is that you want to purchase. That's it.
That's it.
You find it. You find it, whether it's Yahoo Auctions, Up Garage, Macari, whatever website you want to use, junctionproduce.com, spoon.com, Mugen. Whatever it is that you want, copy the link, send it to me, and say, hey, bro, I want this in the New Jersey, California, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, New Jersey, or Florida, Texas container.
Yeah.
And I will say, okay, send me X amount of dollars as your deposit, and I will send it. Once the product shows Japan, I have my guys take a picture of it. They send it to me, and then I post in the Facebook group, hey, Bobby, look, your spoon calipers arrived. It'll be in New Jersey container 11. Boom, done. And then I'll say, hey, this is the remaining part that you need to pay now. That's it.
Wow, that's
That
actually
simple.
it is that simple, right? There doesn't need to be all the crazy questions in between. You're not I know you do offer like a, paid service to search for items, but on the basis, it's like you're not searching for things. You're simply buying, shipping. Like you're doing the logistics, as you said.
I'm a liaison. So before, initially, when I started the company, I would search for things, right? And then I'm a car guy, but I'm just a Honda guy. I started to become a Nissan guy, but I'm a Honda guy. Like I know Hondas more than anything. So a lot of people were requesting things that I had no idea about. So they would send me a picture and they would say, hey, bro, I need this for my car. And I'm like, how am I supposed to know what that is?
Right.
True.
Or they would say, hey, I need this part for this car and this and that. And I'm like, okay, cool, I found it. Oh, no, it's not that. I need this for this. And I'm like, bro, how do I know what this is? So I cut all that out, and because I was buying the wrong parts. People were getting the things from me and they weren't lining up, or they weren't fitting, or they were for the wrong model, or they needed a B16B part when I was giving them a B16A or a B16A part, and it's like, well, this is a Civic Type R part, but I need a EG6 part. I'm like, how am I supposed to know the difference?
Right.
Yeah.
It's all the B16 stuff. So I cut that out and I said, look, now you're going to take responsibility. I'm going to have no liability. So you send me what you want. And if you send me what you want and I buy it and you get it and it's not fitting your car, that's your fault, not mine anymore.
Yeah, that's smart business move. Like you said, you release that liability, so then nobody's either tarnishing your name, trying to charge back their card, whatever all of those messy things are.
Just creating drama.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Sure.
And that is,
Sure.
one of the things that, maybe it's not everybody's taste, so to speak, but I really respect about you is the no nonsense approach, like, because of course people will be like, oh, dude, that guy will just block dudes and blast them. No, he's not dealing with bullshit, but he's also educating you by posting that and letting you know, like, don't do this. Don't waste the time. Just follow the process. And I respect that for sure.
Thanks.
So, all right, I know you had a question about his little car collection here.
Dude, yeah, I mean, you got a dream garage getting built out, filling up, I guess, and I don't know, it's just crazy. Like your black R34, so sick, dude.
Thank you.
What's got to be one of your favorites? Which one are you going to go to every single time, start it up, and instant smile on your face? Which one's your favorite?
Oh man, that's a tough one, bro. So the R34 has the most sentimental value, right? That was the car that I came to Japan to buy. That was the car that I started the company to get. So initially, when I came to Japan, just like everybody else in the world, probably, they always say, oh, I need an R34 GTR. I need an R34 GTR. So when I first got to Japan, I got to Japan June 11th, 2021. And I said to myself, okay, I'm here. I need to buy this R34 GTR. At the time, there was a black one. It was a 2000, and it was for sale for $56,000. And I said, oh my God, I would never pay $56,000 for a car with no cruise control, no nothing. Like $56,000 for a 20-year-old car, there's no way. I'm just going to wait until they come down to 40. I'll pull out 40K out of my 401k, and I'll just get that. I waited 39 days. I got promoted on August 28th, I believe it was. I made tech sergeant. I got my E6. And then September 1st, I put on, and then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. You know what? Screw it. I'm ready to go get my promotion gift. I started looking at R34s again. Oh my God. The jump it made in 2 months was intense right after COVID. It was stupid.
Oh, yeah.
6 figures all day. 6 figures all day now. And I'm like, there's no way I'm paying 6 figures for this stupid car that I could have bought for 50 grand 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So I bought my R34 locally from a dealership I haggled him down to 16.7. Even at that price for an R34 GTT was crazy money, because when I got here, R34s, GTTs were like 8 grand, 9 grand, 10 grand. So to pay 15, 16, 17 with a $5,000 markup in less than 60 days, I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me just do it, because I already saw the statistical data, what happened with the GTRs. So I bought that car, and over time, I made it my GTR. I painted it, put the body kit on there, changed every nut and bolt underneath, all the bushings, everything is Nismo. I took it to June Auto. June Auto built the motor, blew the motor up, built another motor, had my car for 18 months. Oh, yeah. Had my car for 18 months, gave me excuses all the time. Finally got the car back, painted the car a third time, redid the interior, and I said, you know what? I need to get this car out of this country before anything goes wrong again. So I got the car out of the country. I put it at my mom's house. It's nice and tucked away. And then while I was driving it, I would get so much attention from that car. I always felt like I needed something to be on that same playing field while I was still here, because I'm addicted to that curb appeal that car got. So I got my black NSX, and the black NSX surpassed the R34 as in regards to, people taking pictures while you're driving, people videotaping and giving you all the thumbs up and all that cool stuff. And then I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then after that, I got an R32 GTR, R33 GTR. I got another NSX. I got, a bunch of Type Rs here and there, but nothing ever came close to what that R34 and that black NSX did for me whenever I pulled up at a light, whenever I pulled up anywhere. I mean, even so, normally, you guys been to Japan. Normally, Japanese people do not give you praise, congratulations, nothing. They only look at you from the corner of your out of their eye, and that's how you know you're winning. If a Japanese person is looking at your car like this, you know you made it.
Damn. Okay, word. I'm gonna keep my eye out for that.
So I would be on the highway. I'd be next to other cars, next to other NSXs, but they would never look over. They would only just look with their eyes, not move their head. And I'm like, okay, I see you, dog. I see you. I know I'm cool now. Yeah.
Damn.
But nothing ever came close to that R34 and that NSX as far as like curb appeal, pulling up on the scene anywhere, pulling up anywhere. I have a Century now. It's all junction produce. It's slammed. It's got 3-piece wheels, custom wheels. That gets a lot of attention too, but nothing like what that NSX and that R34 did for me.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing pictures of that Century, and yeah, the kit transformed that thing into something else. I don't know what to call it, but that kit was definitely life-changing for that car.
Thanks.
And so what that car actually reminds me of is one of the things that when I first got into the group and started kind of following along was the All Things JDM Tours. I remember you picking up, some guests in the Century before the kit and all of that. And so real quick, what is, because I know some guys listening to this, they want to go to Japan, but they get off that plane and just be lost, right? What is the All Things JDM Tour?
So believe it or not, there are 11 people that I'm meeting tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Decent.
Okay.
I'm meeting a group of 3 here at Fusa Station at 8 in the morning. I'm going to take them around. I'm going to show them a day in the life, condensed version, a day in the life of All Things JDM. And then I'm going to pick up another guy from Haneda Airport at 2 p.m. And he's going to stay here on my couch for 3 days because I sold him several cars, and I actually went to his house in Florida to meet him. I did a All Things JDM USDM tour stateside where I drove to all of my customers' houses up and down the East Coast in 2022, ringing doorbells, kissing babies, shaking hands, the whole nine.
Hell yeah. That's sick.
So I went to his house in 2022. I saw the cars that I sent to him. He cooked us some food. We sat at his table. And now 2 years later, he's coming to Japan. And I told him he's more than welcome to not stay in a hotel, stay on my couch, and we could do things together. So he's going to get the full All Things JDM tour, 4 or 5 days long, where we're going to do car stuff every single day in the day in the life of me. But a lot of the guys who just want, they come with their families or they come with their wives and they just like half a day or they devote a day to get away from their wives to come hang out. I tell them to meet me at Fusa Station. I'll pick you up. I'll ask them, hey, what do you want to drive in? Like, how are you feeling today or whatever? And they'll pick something. They might say, oh, it's just me, so pick me up in an NSX. Oh, I'm coming with two or three guys, so the Century or the GTR might be better or whatever. So, I'll go pick them up. We'll go to Up Garage. We'll go to my dealership. We'll go several different places around. We'll go eat something cool and just kind of see Japan from my perspective and see the people that I interact with every day, all day, and just kind of see how things look in the light of All Things JDM.
Damn, that's actually hella cool as opposed
Yeah.
to some of the other guys giving tours. It's all just the run of the mill, same stuff that pretty much they're all doing, right? Where yours is more your perspective.
Yeah. That's
right.
Cool.
So there's I have to tell you guys a disclaimer that if you're coming on an All Things JDM tour, I'm not stopping anything to cater to you. You need to help me work because I'm not stopping work. So a lot of these guys, they come here and we glove up and they're moving wheels, they're moving tires, they're moving parts because we're going to the container yard tomorrow. Or, they're helping me like move cars around the dealership because it's like, yo, that car back there, yeah, that one's sold and it's going on a tow truck tomorrow. We got to move these 30 freaking cars to get that one car back there out of the way. So these guys, when they show up, they know, oh, I'm not kicking my feet up. We're gonna work today, homie. I know you're on vacation, but you gotta work, my man.
Which, actually to me or a guy like you who's into this, like fully into this, that actually sounds more appetizing than hitting the sushi conveyor belt, the Tokyo Tower, the A pit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's because you're actually getting a real experience out of that, a day in the life of, that's pretty dope. I like that perspective.
Thanks.
So all right, man. I know we got one more for you. I'm gonna let Aaron do it, and I'm excited to hear about this. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I've seen on the group a few times. You've kind of hit it around at it, but all good things come to an end. How much longer can we expect to see Jamar hustling?
Right. So I'll tell you this. I got to this country with one goal in mind. My goal was to leave Japan with an R34. It had to be black, had to be black wheels, and it had to sound cool. I think within the first 6 months, I reached that goal. So at this point, I'm just having fun. So once I stop having fun, then I no longer want to do this anymore. But now I have new goals. I want to take a lot of the profits that I'm making now and reopen my real estate portfolio and start trying to get some quiet money because the money that I'm making now, it's loud. Like I have to show you guys everything. The only reason I get these stupid cars, these NSXs and these GTRs is to show you guys what it can look like from here. So I buy these cars, I get these stupid wheels, I get all these extra things that I don't really need just to entice you guys to buy more stuff that you don't really need, that I know you don't need. No one needs all this extra stuff, but I have to show you. I think Lil Wayne said it the best. He said, a lot of people don't get the picture unless the flash is on. And I feel that. If I'm not showing you what this Junction produce body kit looks like on the Century, you probably would never want one. If I didn't show you what it looks like to drive a black NSX or now a yellow NSX, whatever, you probably wouldn't even think to want one. So I'm influencing a lot of people by the things that I have so that they would spend more money. But I built this company in a way that I can still run it no matter where I'm at because it's all ran by my phone. I've set up all these people here in this country to do certain things for me in my absence. So regardless if I'm in Japan or not, I can still run this company to the fullest the way I've been running it if I stayed.
Wow.
So to answer your question, whenever I'm ready, I guess.
I mean, man, that's a great position to be in because a lot of people in business, kind of don't have a choice, right? In that sense. And you've obviously had the foresight to put yourself in a position to, right, kind of capitalize on this for as long as you can. And as you said, as long as you enjoy it, because that's probably the biggest thing is, like you said, you are living out kind of your dream. And at some point, if the dream isn't there anymore, you can just shut it down, which is excellent for you, and in the real estate thing, like, congrats on that. I'd assume you used to be into that.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Before I
So,
got to.
yeah. So getting back into it, I'm sure that'll be nice because that's a whole different level of challenge,
Mm-hmm.
Man, we definitely appreciate you coming on today. I know you're a busy guy, as you said. You're holding, I don't know, probably the same weight as 15 people, on your shoulders. So we appreciate what you're doing for the culture, though, man. I don't know if enough people say that to you. Giving people like us access to the things that we've been dreaming of for decades. Like, major respect to you for that.
Thank you.
Definitely appreciative.
Hell yeah, yeah. I'm loving the business model for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. So yeah, where can they find you, man? I mean, we've kind of said it, but just give us a quick rundown of where to find you on the internet so people can hopefully find their dream parts.
Sure. So I'm mostly operating out of my Facebook group. It's Exporting All Things JDM on Facebook. I have a website, AllThingzJDM.com. I'm on YouTube, All Things JDM. I'm on Instagram, All Things JDM. You can just Google All Things JDM, and all of my things, all of my socials, all of my platforms still pop up. But if you want to make an order, the best way to make the order is to go to my website, allthingsjdm.com, and just reach out to me. And I'm very responsive. I think that's why I got these bags under my eyes, because I don't sleep. When you guys wake up, this is my time now. Like, since we've been on the phone, I've gotten tons of messages come across the screen, because now the Americans are awake. Now I need to work. Even though it's time for me to sleep, I stay awake so that I can get you guys to get these orders, to get the parts that you need and sent out.
Yeah, that's major dedication, man, because I know the temptation to just lay your head on that pillow must be there. But, hey, man, while you can capitalize on it, that's it. That's a true entrepreneur right there. You're not willing to sacrifice the opportunity, and major respect for that as well, man.
Thank you.
All right, man. Well, so thank you for all of the knowledge. Again, we definitely appreciate you coming on. Hopefully we've been able to educate some people and save you a few silly DMs. You know what I mean? That was definitely one of the goals here. But, man, until next time, keep doing your thing, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Episode 104 with Jamar. Man, that was cool. I felt like I definitely got a lot better insight on who he is and how that runs.
Yeah, me too. Dude, just the way he broke everything down, and dude, his tours, get to get your hands dirty with some JDM
Dude,
junk.
that's sweet, man. Like, I would choose that tour over just like going and seeing the sights any day of the week.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I mean, for somebody like me, let's say, whatever, I've been to Japan a handful of times. And so the touristy type stuff I'm played out on, right? And like,
you've been there, done that, right?
Yeah, even like, of course, always love Amari Factory, always love A Pit, Up Garage, of course. But like, I've been there, done that. To be able to go participate in one of his tours and actually work next to the dude, shuffle those tires, move those cars.
Yeah.
Dude, I would value that experience at this point more than I would another trip to one of these other places.
Yeah, 100%.
So definitely props to Jamar on creating. He obviously had like the insight to create these things in the way that he did, because somebody without those type of skills could try to do this and it would flop.
Right.
It just wouldn't work between all the logistics.
They wouldn't have the
people,
hustle,
the tours, right? So major props to him. If you don't know who he is or you haven't even searched All Things JDM yet, then you're probably missing out. Because like he said, when it stops being fun, he's going to stop.
Right.
And so it kind of makes sense to capitalize on this now.
Yeah.
Before prices get higher, before containers get more few and far between.
Right.
It probably makes sense to work with this man. So definitely hit him up for sure. I enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I did too.
Make sure you're following us on the socials at RHDGUIS. And, of course, if you want some merch, we just dropped the Depression is Real tee. You can find it on RHDGUIS.com. But for episode 104, I'm Bobby. This is Aaron.
See ya.
Peace.